All right, everybody, time to grab a seat. Sign in if you haven't. We got a lot on our agenda today, so we need to get started on time. The benefits of being a teacher, right? So I am not Leslie Sturmer. I'm Susan Larimore. But this is our agenda for today. As you see, we've got quite a bit to cover here in our 2-hour time. There will be time between the presentations for some limited questions. You can also hold and we can have questions at the very end. Also at the very end, we'll have Portia Sapp will be on here introducing us to a new grant opportunity. Logistics of everything. Their bathrooms just right outside the door here, just right across the hallway. You've already seen the snacks and stuff in the back, coffee, water, soda, whatever you want to drink. And most of our speakers are here today. Shirley Baker will be joining us via Zoom. She's under the weather. Anything I've forgotten? Oh yes, this is being recorded. You're not being recorded, we're being recorded, and these presentations will be available online eventually. And so we'll contact you when all the links are up and the video is ready to go, which is one of the reasons we wanted to capture your email, whether you're an online participant or you are here in person. I think that about covers it.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize for being unable to be there. So today we are reporting on a project evaluating the abiotic and biotic factors that influence hard clam seed production. And this was a collaboration between UF IFAS and Harbor Branch of Florida Atlantic University, and this was funded by Florida Sea Grant. So our project team was made up of a bunch of folks from University of Florida, many of whom are there in the room today, as well as Harbor Branch Oceanographic. Susan and Bonnie are there today, and of course our participating Florida seed producers, who we could not have done this project without them. So the objectives of this project were to address seed production challenges that you all have. So we wanted to monitor water quality indicators in hatcheries and nurseries, investigate the presence of bacterial pathogens in hatcheries, look at the phytoplankton species and abundance in nurseries, and look at seed clam health. So first off, we had to select our industry partners to work with them, set up a monitoring program, and then at the end, and what you'll see later today, is at some educational materials that we produced. So in selecting facilities, we couldn't look at everybody's facilities. That was beyond the scope of our funding. But we wanted to get an idea of, we wanted to select producers that had varying locations, source waters, and scale of operation. So we chose some in the Big Bend, Southwest Florida, and the Indian River Lagoon. Some of those obviously are on the Atlantic, some on the Gulf, some use well water, some use surface water. and scale of operation from relatively small to some larger ones. We assign codes to those facilities to maintain their anonymity so that their information wouldn't be available to everybody. And then we tailored a sampling schedule based on their production schedule and so on. So we looked at water quality indicators, carbonate chemistry, pathogens, seed health, and phytoplankton. And you're going to hear about each of those later. But I do want to delve into the water quality indicators a little more here. So we had all the way from continuous logging to annual samples, depending upon what we were looking at. So in each region, one facility got a continuous data logger, which looked at temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, and salinity. On a weekly basis, all facilities were provided with refractometers, some meters, and alkalinity kits, and they were trained to take these samples weekly themselves. Then all facilities had water samples taken weekly for ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and calcium. You'll hear more about that. And on an annual basis, we also took some water samples for ions, metals that might be of concern, inorganic chemicals of concern, volatile organics, pesticides, herbicides, and some insecticides. So here you can get an idea of what that sampling looked like. So we had the water quality sampling all the way from continuous to on an annual basis, bacteriological sampling, the seed health sampling, and phytoplankton. And some of these have caveats. You'll see in your materials and on the websites what those mean. But samples were processed at UF Harbor Branch, and some samples were sent to other laboratories for testing, Midwest laboratories and water agricultural labs. So we had all these different things that we monitored and assessed, and we've produced fact sheets, developed protocols and videos, have lists of resources, and a problem-solving guide that Natalie will be presenting at the very end of this session. So that's what we have been doing, and you're going to hear about each of these assessments now.